Alright, hello to all you people out there in the land of YouTube. You are all awesome, beautiful, and purpose. My name is Jonathan McAdam. I am the owner, designer, creator of Start Arts channel and Start Arts brand. Beautiful. So, I'm also a recovering addict. I've been in recovery from addictions for a little over 8 years. 8 years and like 2 months. During this time, essentially, I've been on a spiritual journey, a spiritual growth, looking to grow within myself on a whole bunch of different levels, on mindset levels, on spiritual levels, on personal levels, on emotional levels, and all of that great, fun, exciting stuff that we should all be doing. So, today I basically want to go into something really quite deep and quite difficult for me in respects to kind of what I'm going through in my life. And anybody that has suffered with abandonment issues, anybody that has suffered with not feeling good enough, or anybody that has suffered with not recognizing that they have the control over how they react to other people and how other people react to us. So, the most difficult thing I'm having right now is the relationship and building the relationship with my 16-year-old daughter, right? So, as an addict, when I was in active use, I was not a father. I was there for the first couple years, and then my ex kicked me out uh, because of my alcohol abuse, which then afterwards I got into deeper things, and I wasn't there. And then from my daughter's age of age 5 to age 8 was a 3-year period where I was homeless and I was drunk and high every single day, ultimately wasting my existence and hating who I was and what I had become, because I grew up in guardianship, foster care, group homes, alcohol abuse. My parents were not able to deal with the pressures of having children. So when I was at the age of 5, I was put into guardianship. But then even when my guardian took me in, she was unable to deal with me and my issues, right? So then I suffered a lot when it goes to abandonment and not having guidance and not feeling loved or cared for, right? So ultimately, that was not what I wanted to do to my precious seed, to my child. I wanted to be there, you know? She deserved and deserves to have a father that loves her, that's going to be there to protect her, to provide for her, to guide her, to go for walks, to have fun, to laugh, to share stories, right? So for the past 8 years in my recovery, I've had built up a relationship with my daughter, you know? And we went out and we had fun and we laughed. And I'm still a provider. And I still to this day text her. She's denied me, right? So we haven't spoken in 10 months. There was some stuff that happened with her, that her going through her 16-year-old stage, trying to recognize who she is, but going down the same path that I went down, using alcohol, using drugs. Now we have this whole social media thing. So now people put videos of themselves using and being on drugs and drinking and partying. So I found out about some videos, and it was extremely concerning to me because I saw the videos and I saw the path, and I knew that she was going down a destructive way. And there's a lot of things that she's going through, and I know that she's going through, and I wanted to be there to guide her through it. And so I seeked help for her. I seeked professional help so that I can break the cycle and act on preventative measures in order for her not to start going down that path. And by trying to do the best I could, I got denied. And once again, I got shut out, from her life. And all of this has been very, very, very hard on me. And ultimately, I'm trying to figure out how I personally am able to grow through this pain, right? Because I have to understand and I have to accept that I have no control over how she feels, or how her mother acts, or how her family responds, right? The only thing I'm ultimately in control, once again, is how I deal with it and how I respond to it, right? And so over the past while, I've spoken with her mother and I've reached out and sending money and sending letters and sending postcards and texting the mother, making sure that my 16-year-old daughter knows that her father loves her and that the door is always open. And then so it came to a point where I have to understand and I have to surrender to the fact and accept the fact that she is going through her own trials. She's going through her own struggles. And ultimately, at this point in life, I'm not a part of that, And it's hard to be a father that all a father wants to do is make sure that their child is protected, that their child doesn't go down the same destructive paths as they had done in the past. So during this period of time, I've seen my daughter twice. One time, I was walking down the street, and she was walking, because I live 500 meters from my daughter. I moved to where I am now a year ago, and to be close to her, right? So we walked past each other. I looked at her, and I said, "Hi." And then she looked through me like I didn't exist and didn't acknowledge me and continued to walk. And that broke my heart. It's like my heart dropped, and I didn't know how to truly respond, so I just didn't. I just walked, and I just did my best to let go and to not feel hurt, to not feel pain, right? And then so I was like, okay, well, I accept this. I accept that she's not able to talk to me, and I'm not going to hold resentments towards her or her mother and things like that. And then so I let it be. But then I found that it was actually building. The anger and the resentments, and the pain was actually just building because I had no control. And ultimately in this life, every individual wants to know and wants to feel that they have control. but we have to accept that we don't always have control. And if we don't have control, then ultimately we have to let it be, because we have no power in certain situations, but we have the power on how we want to go into respond to that. So one day I was cooking, and the sauce was boiling a bit, and then I just got really, really, really mad, really like almost enraged, because of everything that was building up inside my heart, everything that was building up inside my spirit, and you know, like now all the resentments and abandonments of my past, are coming up, and then rage on myself because I wasn't there, and there was a large period of her life, half of it basically, where I wasn't there. So I mean, I can't sit here and be like, ultimately I don't feel I deserve what is happening because of what I've done in my life and how I've completely changed everything around, and how much love, honor, and respect that I give her and that I give her mother. I mean, I have a lot of respect for her. That over time has dwindled, but again, I can't give my power to that, right? So my daughter walked by my apartment yesterday, and she was with her friend, and we saw each other. She saw me, I saw her. She was laughing with her friend, and I was like waved to her because I need to acknowledge her. She's there. It's like my seed, my daughter, my blood is there. So I have to acknowledge her and be like, hi. But there was no acknowledgement, and again, that hurt. I mean, it's like my heart, it's just getting stomped on and stomped on. But how do I react? How do I control it? How do I control how I respond? And then I have to understand that I have this philosophy that we are all our little separate universes, and the second we are born into existence, we are who we are, and our path begins. And as through life, we all interact and we all come across each other's paths, and if we look for how we can learn from each other, from any single person that we come across, it's a matter of how can we learn from this situation, how can we learn from this person. And then so my daughter's on her path, and I also come to the understanding that we are all individually spiritual children of the one infinite God, source of creation. And so I am a child of the one infinite being. My biological parents brought me into the world through their actions, right? And so here I am. But they are my parents. But creation and God is the ultimate father. And I need to understand, and I need to give and surrender my child to God. I need to understand that she is on her own journey, that she is on her own path. And as we go through our lives, people are going to come across each other's paths, and once again, we're going to learn from each other. But also, people are going to be taken out of the path because they're on their own, and you're on your own. So I have to come to the understanding, and I have to surrender to the fact that she is on her path, and I have to pray to my Creator that He's the one that will protect her, that will guide her, that will provide for her, that will give her comfort, that will fill her heart with love, with joy, with peace, with confidence. You know, if I am unable to be there during this period of her life, then I need to surrender that to God. And I need to continue my path and continue my spiritual growth, continue my personal development, and to keep building Start Art's brand. Ultimately, what I'm doing is helping out other recovering addicts and providing jobs, opportunity, and spiritual mentorship, and allowing them to understand their personal power and for them to be the best versions of themselves. But for them to be the best versions of themselves, I need to be the best version of myself. And so as I go through this journey, as I go through these trials and through these tribulations in respect to the relationship with my daughter, I need to look at this as being a spiritual growth, something that is going to propel me forward into the divinity of who I am, in the understanding that all is divine, that all is purposed, that all is well, and that everything that is happening right now in the world is all for a divine purpose. And we need to start looking inside of ourselves, and we need to start seeking the source that has given us breath, the source that has given us life, the source that has given us spirit, that's given us thought, emotion, love, a beautiful planet, you know, for us to focus on who we are in that source. And as we figure out who we are in that source, then we are going to be better able to serve others and be there for others, to show love and compassion and understanding. But first we need to start loving ourselves, understanding ourselves, and having compassion towards ourselves. And so it's all a journey, and we all go through a lot of difficult times. And what are we going to do with those difficult times? Everything in the world is how we see, believe, and perceive what is happening. But for us to look inside, and not just on the surface area of things, but find the deeper meaning in everything that is happening. So I send you all love. I send you all strength. I send you all power, comfort. Let us just keep on living these days, day by day, step by step, minute by minute, and sometimes second by precious second. And understand that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, as Wayne Dwyer would say. And that you're purposed, that you're worthy, and never give up on yourself. Keep on believing in yourself. And I hope this hit home one way or another. I know it hit my home. You know, I cried a couple times, trying to release, trying to accept and absorb it all. But ultimately, it comes down to throwing all my burdens upon the Father himself. And he himself is going to sustain me. And he himself is going to sustain my child, his child, as she goes on her journey. And I need to accept that she's on her own, and we're all on a path. So subscribe. Hey, subscribe to Start Arts, because it's a pretty awesome channel, and I still have a lot more content coming. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone here, putting myself on the internet, you know, letting people watch my videos, potentially all over the world, you know, sharing my struggles, being as real as I can be. So, one love to every single person out there, and you guys are all awesome, you guys are all beautiful, and you're all purposed, and I love you all. Subscribe, like, and comment. I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Namaste.